Hello, you're with Calling All Stations, and this is test number 45,523 of trying to get a live stream going. Basically, I'm going to put this out as private so I can watch these back and see what the quality's like. I have had problems with the audio syncing up, but hopefully that should be working now. And then once I'm happy, I will publish it as public so that you can watch this back and crucially tell me what you think. So let's get a little shot of the multicam view. Now, straight away, you will notice a difference between the pre-recorded version of this sort of multicam shot that I did a couple of weeks ago and this. Yes, we're missing a camera. The reasons for that are slightly complicated, but before I had a shot of Croxley West, I had a shot of Woodford Wells, which is, you can see, top left, and I had a layout diagram, which you can see bottom right. I also had a shot of the fiddle yard, which I've had to lose for variously boring and complicated reasons. To get into it a little bit, I'm streaming the cameras through the Wi-Fi. Well, not this one that you're seeing me on, hello. That's obviously the laptop's webcam. But the top left camera, that's being streamed through the Wi-Fi through an app called Epoch Cam, something like that. You can do multi-shot with that. You can do multicam, and I did have another shot on another device. But as soon as you start adding another camera to OBS, which is the piece of software that I'm using to do this, my laptop, I think, starts to struggle, and my Wi-Fi is starting to struggle with that amount of data going through it. Because not only have I had the two cameras going through it, I've also got the layout diagram going through it, because that is running off a remote desktop connection on a Windows PC, not on my Mac. And then don't forget, it's also going up to YouTube on the live stream, so a lot of things being streamed through the Wi-Fi, and I think if I add another camera to this, it just starts to not cope very well, basically. And you can probably see on this multicam view, as that class 24 starts to move out of shot, it's a little bit jittery, and it sort of tries to catch up with itself. If we move over to the actual shot of it, it's nice and smooth, but as soon as we're on multicam, it really does start to struggle. So one of my questions to you is that something you'd put up with when we're on multicam view? Would you put up with the shot of Woodford Wells being a little bit jittery? Hopefully the shot of me is fine, because that's one running through the webcam on the laptop, so that's kind of, it's okay with that. The laptop's okay with that, but as soon as we start pulling in streaming cameras, it starts to suffer a little bit. So one of the questions is, would you put up with that whilst we're on the main multicam view? I can, of course, cut to just what the layout diagram's doing. I can cut to me, hello, you can cut to me, and we can see a better close-up view of Croxley West. I can, of course, move this around, and we could go and see the depot behind me. That's really bad. I've got rubbish in shot. That's really bad. But we'll go back to Croxley West there. And I can also move around this shot of the Class 24. I can move that to other parts of the layout. That's on a tripod. So you can see that's absolutely fine as that Class 24 comes into shot. It's not at all jittery. But as soon as I go back to the main screen, the multicam shot, it does start to struggle a little bit. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to stop the Class 24's schedule. Actually, I'm going to stop both schedules, and then I'm going to move the L1 into the fiddle yard, just so you can get an idea of the kind of stuff we potentially do on the live stream. It would have been better if I showed you that with the screen capture only mode. But you can see that I can start changing points and stuff and doing all manner of interesting things. Actually, let's get the L89 going as well. So it's typically not going to do it now that I'm streaming. There we go. So the L89 is going to go out of shot, and then I can cut to the shot of me whilst the L89 disappears out of shot. So that's the kind of stuff we might be able to do with the live stream. I'm going to move the L1 back into shot so that it's just a bit more interesting on that multicam view. There we go. It's a bit rough and ready because I'm having to operate the streaming software, which is called OBS. I use that at work, and a lot of people use that to do their live streaming, gaming, streaming, all that kind of stuff. So I'm having to operate that. I'm having to operate the layout diagram and then think about shots and everything. So as that L1 comes in, you can see it's kind of a little bit jumpy on the multi-screen. Again, is that something you put up with every now and then before I cut away to other things? So yeah, it's been a little bit rough and ready. It will be rough and ready when it's if this is something we do live, if there's something you'd like to see. But bear in mind what you've seen now in this little preview. That's probably the quality that we're going to see live. I think I've reached the limitations of my computing power, basically. And if I start to add any more cameras, it starts to become really jumpy. It's a bit jumpy as it is. Again, is that something you put up with? Hopefully the audio is all in sync. But yeah, this has been a test of potentially doing some live streams. If this is not successful and you don't really like this format, what I can do is go back to having 4 cameras and do it pre-recorded, and I can use OBS, this piece of software that you're watching, to do it pre-recorded. The laptop's perfectly happy doing it in pre-recorded mode, I think. With some kind of tweaking. As soon as we start to go live, it starts to struggle with doing 4 cameras. Or if not, I can go back to the way I did it last week, and it's just a bit of a slower process. So, is it something you want to see? Is it something you want to put up with the jitteriness of the multicam? Or do you prefer what I did last time, pre-record it and then narrate over it? It takes me a longer time to do, but I think the quality's a bit better. So have a think about what you'd like to see, and let me know, comment down below. So thanks very much for watching. I know it's been probably not so much train related, more technology related, so do bear with me. This is a necessary test. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I will see you soon.